past, fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, in the last part, Melissa Shield, she was hired on, or at least taken on, in part of a mission, where it was believed that the hero killer Stain has returned after he broke out of Tartarus prison during a prison transfer. Now, Melissa Shield, Mirio, Tamaki, Nedre, and a few other people from their version of Class 1A, or their class back in UA, they were all able to pair up on this mission. And whenever Melissa was patrolling with one of her former classmates, they were killed by the new hero killer wielding a sword. Now, Melissa encountered them and fought them. With the help of Fenrir and One for All, even she could not muster enough strength to take down this villain, who revealed they knew about Arthur and the sword. Now, Midoriya, or Izuku, then revealed to Melissa the origins of that evil blade. Now, with that being said, we do have Melissa Shield, who, she is still trying to process everything. She has taken a few days off of the hero, patrol, and she is trying to get her head on straight. Not only has she been kind of shaken by this experience, but she's also looking into this weapon that Midoriya has mentioned. Now, Midoriya, he told Melissa that with how long it may have been, she might not find very good evidence, or she might not understand what the blade might do. Melissa, she was skeptical about this, but she did look and see what she can probably research. Now, Melissa found evidence that the sword did exist at one point. However, its origins were different from what she was told by Arthur. Now, Melissa was very annoyed. The sword isn't the same as what she believed. There's the first-hand account from Izuku, and then there's what history has it labeled as. That weapon was not what it said. However, it is very dangerous. And she knows that one day, that hero killer will show up again. They're going to kill. And once they do, Melissa needs to be there right then to stop them. Now, we do have Izuku, who he himself is annoyed, as Melissa is sipping from a pot of coffee that she's mixed milk and sugar in, and a little bit of creamer. She does watch as Midoriya, who's currently in Fenrir, he does go to walk out the door, and he does head into the kitchen. Midoriya looking around and wondering exactly where something is. Now, as he is wondering that All Might, he would walk through the door. And he's returned. Now, All Might is confused by what's happening, since whenever he does look around the apartment, it's a little bit of a mess. There's stains on the tables, stains everywhere, and there's a whole lot of cups either filled halfway up with coffee or empty. Along with that, he's fairly certain there's a lot of junk food wrappers lying around. And he's just trying to understand all of it. As Midoriya, he would have walked out of the pantry and turned to see All Might. All Might looking directly at Midoriya after he surveyed the room. Hello, would this be your doing, Arthur, or... Ah, All Might, you've returned. Still not used to this. Neither am I. Now, it's Melissa. She's sort of, well, deep in thought. Deep in thought? All Might confused. Midoriya giving All Might the rundown. Basically, ancient weapon, ancient evil. And a classmate of hers was murdered. Now, All Might, yeah. That last part struck a chord with him. Especially since Ida, yeah, that's a sore subject. Now, we do then have where All Might would walk into Melissa's room and see her. Her, with her clothes on, however, very messy. Stains all over them as she looks like she hasn't slept in a few days. Or she's just simply passed out, woken up, and gotten straight back to research. All Might actually knocking on the door as she does turn her head for a second before going back to what she's doing. Melissa. Hi, All Might. What's up? Her still looking on her computer. It seems like I've returned at a bad time. Actually, no, you haven't. Listen. Her not even really making eye contact. Telling All Might that something happened and it's a long story. Yes, Izuku gave me a rundown. Izuku, but he's right. Her going to turn and look down to her right, where the dog was just lying down. Oh, sorry, I got too focused. Now, this would be whenever Midoriya would walk back in. As he does walk up to Melissa and explain to her that everything he's told her is true, and that there won't be any accounts she can find of the blade. I know, but still. There must at least be any information about this stuff, right? If this weapon exists and it's magic or whatever, magical, that means there might be more out there. So, that's what I'm looking into. You're looking to see if you can find any other magical items. Yes. So far, I've looked into over, 70, 62? I don't know. But listen, I think I might have... No, wait. It's possible, but... Do you think you'd be able to tell, Arthur? No. Not unless you had the weapon here. That's the only way you can know. What do you mean? Well, the people who gave me the weapon you're wielding now, they forged it a certain way. Their crafts are very interesting. Interesting how? Well, I cannot tell you, for I hardly know. So much help you are. Melissa, I am helping you. I am the one who gave you that power. Sorry. It's just been difficult. I know. You saw a comrade die, and that will shake you. However, what you're doing right now is falling apart. You need to get yourself together and hunt him down. I understand that, but still. I'm trying to figure it out. Figure out what? you need to train harder. You were scared. However, it's understandable. Overcoming your fear is something you need to know how to do. I've faced off against armies alone, and I've shaken in my boots many times. However, it is that will to stand, that will to fight, the will to hold your ground and protect everyone behind you. It is that kept me on my feet and kept me solid as a wall. So, Melissa, I ask you this. What will you do? Will you stand or crumble? Hmm? I don't. Yes, I. Now, that would be when Melissa. That would be whenever Melissa would fall backwards, at the edge of her bed, falling asleep. All Might bringing his hand up concerned, asking if she is alright. Now, Midoriya, he would look at All Might, and explain to him that he believes that she's going to be fine. She just is tired is all. Now, All Might, yeah, he is very concerned. As we do have Midoriya who does look at the screen Melissa is currently on. Now, whenever he does turn the computer, he does see a few tabs open, as it's talking about weapons of ancient times. Midoriya looking at it for 1 minute and just simply thinking. Many of the weapons he has seen here do not seem like they would be correct. However, he does not know for sure. So he's going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say one might be right. Now, ow. I just bit my tongue. Anyways, All Might, he would walk over and pick Melissa up. As he does, take her over to the bed and... Hang on 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I tasted blood. Anyways, let's continue. All Might would put Melissa down on her bed and let her rest. As he does turn to Midoriya and ask him exactly what should he do. Midoriya looking at him questionably, as All Might does tell Izuku that he's going to help. He has been busy with hero work in other cities. However, now that he's here, he's going to help Melissa. He knew it was bad whenever he heard she took a few days off. However, he didn't know she was this far off the deep end. Midoriya explained to All Might that this is not off the deep end. He's seen off the deep end. All Might asking Midoriya to elaborate, to which Midoriya would just simply reply that if he does elaborate, All Might would have nightmares. Now, All Might does freeze for 1 second as he does ask if he can do anything to help him. Why, yes, you can. Midoriya actually going to walk over to the side of the bed and pick up Excalibur, as he does go to place the weapon in All Might's hand. Wow. This is lighter than last time. Why, yes, that's because I'm allowing you to hold the weapon. Now, I need you to find her allies. Monoma, or not Monoma, Mirio, Nejire, and Tamaki. We will find these three, explain what I am to them, and then we can go from there. I'm sorry, what? You think they're going to just accept this? No, they're not. That's why you're bringing the blade with you, along with me. Really, you think this is a good idea? Absolutely not. However, this is a risk, calculated and precise. They'll either believe you to be some crazy old man, Midoriya asking All Might to please shrink down now. All Might immediately buffing down. Midoriya saying that this is how he will approach them. He will explain that he's a friend or a family friend of Melissa's, and that he needs to share a piece of information that Melissa has requested him to share. Now, with that, Midoriya, he does use his own heroic spirit. As Excalibur, it does begin to start glowing blue. And Midoriya, he does begin to somewhat grow in size. As he does grab All Might and pick him up. As the two do awkwardly try and leave the apartment. Once they do, Midoriya, he leaps over the side and, with All Might still, well, held on to, he does begin to start making his way throughout the town. As All Might tries to hold on for dear life. The weapon in one hand and 2 handfuls of fur in each. Now, we do cut to a wild ride later, where in front of the Hero Association there stands All Might, who's trying to regain his bearings like Midoriya was on where they landed the first time they ever met, and a giant wolf. As you do actually have Mirio, who was walking by. Now, Mirio, he would actually spot the giant wolf, as he does just think, oh, it's Fenrir. Melissa must be close by. Now, this is whenever Mirio, he does come running up. And he would actually see All Might. As he does look around confused as to where Melissa is. As he does see the old man holding her weapon. Excuse me, sir? Please, give me 1 minute. That was pretty crazy. Now I know how everyone else feels. Okay, but was hoping to ask you a question. Where did you get that weapon? Oh, hold on, please. Okay. The two stand there patiently for 1 second. As All Might, he does clear his throat and begin to talk, asking him if his name is Mirio. Yeah. Oh, good. I was hoping I recognized him. Yes. I need you to find Nejire and Tamaki. Sure, but where's Melissa? Did something happen to her? Is she okay? Melissa's fine. She's at home right now. Please, however, All Might cut to the chase. Mirio, him freezing for 1 second. All Might? Wait, him trying to look at Fenrir. You heard me, did you not? I'm sorry. Did this giant dog just call you All Might? That's a long story. Now please find her friends. Now, Mirio, he does make a phone call. As we do have about, let's just say roughly, 1 hour to 2 hours later, where both Nejire and Tamaki have shown up, and they've all been taken to a private room to talk. As we do have Mirio, who he's fanboying a lot. Him pouring tea, as he does sit in front of All Might, and go to jump backwards onto the seat. As you have Nejire and Tamaki, who are both sitting there. So, you're All Mights? Nejire would say. But you're so tiny. What happened to you? Yeah. Tamaki starts. I expected you to be larger. Is this a thing about your quirk? He does say, beginning to scratch his face a bit. Now, All Might does give the rundown about his injury against a villain named All For One. As Midoriya, he's interested about that. A quirk that can take quirks. Fascinating. Now, there is then whenever Midoriya, he does actually look at All Might in Fenrir and talk about how he'll take it on right now. I'm sorry? Let me take over. Did that dog just... Yeah, I heard it earlier too. It was weird. Just let him speak. I'm curious about all of this. Now, I know this is a lot of information to dump on you three. However, do you know about the blade Excalibur? Hmm? Now, the three do talk about how they've heard mention of it before. Let's just say at least Nedre somewhat knows the story. The sword and the stone one. Midoriya? Yeah. He talks about how she's wrong. And she's surprised. As Midoriya gives them a rundown. His origin story, what happened, and how Melissa came to become the bearer of Excalibur. As they all do find it quite interesting and hard to believe. Now, they are all thinking that this is some sort of prank, until All Might, after being requested to, does buff up. And Fenrir, he does actually disappear. Now, whenever this does happen, Fenrir turns into a giant blue flame, before jumping back into Excalibur, and you do actually have Midoriya who, using his own heroic spirit, he does begin to try and make a construct that would be somewhat visible to them. Now, Midoriya does request each one of them to please touch the blade, as they all do this. Once they do, they actually do begin to see the heroic spirit, the blue flames around it, as you do actually have Midoriya standing there, directly above them whenever they do back up and turn their heads upwards. As he's standing there with his arms crossed, and he does look very menacing. Whoa. Wait. So, this guy's King Arthur? Yes, I am. Now, listen to me very, very carefully. For the next few things I have to say are very important. Since, if you don't listen, a lot of people might die. Now, this does shock all of them, as Midoriya does talk about Clarence, and this weapon. Now, we do actually then cut to about 30 minutes later, where Melissa, she's actually shaken awake. Her actually going to sit up in her bed as she's confused. Especially whenever she does open her eyes to see All Might in his small form, Tamaki, Nejire, and Mirio. Along with Mirio holding Excalibur. As she does see that her eyes do widen, as she asks, why the hell are they all here? Oh, Melissa, Tamaki starts. We got the rundown from your friend, Izuku. Now, Melissa does freeze, as she does jump forwards and go to grab the blade from Mirio. Her grabbing the holster as she just pull it directly towards her. Mirio activating his quirk after he does let go of the blade when she did jump forwards, as to allow it to try to phase through his hands. Now, Melissa still ended up hitting his hand as he does have to try and bring it up. Now, Melissa, yeah, she's angry as hell about this. Why did he tell them? As you have Midoriya explain it to her. Now, Melissa doesn't really have a lot of time to be mad, especially since now they have to formulate a plan to try and take out this new sword-wielding hero killer. Now then, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.